YouTube, what's up? What's up? It's Social Justice WATERPIPE here. Wait for a couple people to come on. We are live here in Cranford, New Jersey. Council meeting starts at 7:30, and it's 7:07, so 23 minutes roughly, and the council meeting will start. Just wait for a couple people to sign on here. This is a nice building. This is the first time I'm in Cranford. And I'm here to support Will Philly. Will Philly is the independent candidate who ran for town council. And this is the guy who did the break dancing during a public meeting. His dance moves are epic. So I'm here to support Will. Will's doing a dance party protest. This is number 5. So if you guys watched the last video, not the last video, but 2 videos ago, I did a coverage on Will and what he's been doing at council meetings. And Will is very similar to me in the sense that he's entertaining, and he's providing a little bit of entertainment so that people pay attention to what's happening in their local council meetings. And he's funny, man. He cracks me up. He's like my new favorite online personality, and he doesn't have a lot of subscribers. So if you guys go to his channel and subscribe, his stuff is so funny. Let me audit you. What's up, brother? Can you hear me? You're the first person to come on. Just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'll make sure my mic is working. I think it is. Just want to make sure though. So I've never been to Cranford here. Brand new town for me. It's a nice building. And they have, yes, thank you very much. This is the first time I've been to Cranford. Yes, so I'm here with Will Philly. And yes, Lefty is here. Yes. Oh, this is great. My buddy Lefty's here. Oh, I told him to show up, but he didn't confirm whether he was coming or not. Rami, what's up, brother? How are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, this is great. So I told my buddy Lefty, who goes by the name El Rampador when he's donning his wrestler mask, the last video that I just did about the councilwoman in Sayreville who was shot 14 times, it highlights me and El Rampador's attendance at that council meeting back in May of 2022, where Mayor Kilpatrick freely spoke about what was going on with the murder of the councilwoman. And that's a very important video. And I recommend that everybody watch that video if you haven't watched it already. That's the last one that I posted. So Lefty's here, which is great. Me and him have been going to council meetings forever. When I started to get into activism, Lefty was doing a tour called the Ignorance is No Excuse tour. And he was going all around to towns that were banning cannabis dispensaries. And, they were trying to get ahead of the curve, this non-lethal medication that can save people's lives, at the heel end of the opiate epidemic. He was going to all these towns, and I'm like, he kind of made me understand about what activism is. So I owe a lot of my journey to Lefty, and I'm so glad he's here. But so we got Will Philly, we got Lefty, and this is going to be a dance party protest. This is going to be a fun one tonight. This is definitely going to be a fun one tonight. So if you guys haven't seen the video that I did on Will Philly, you got to watch that too. Yes, thank you, Rami. Thank you for putting that in the chat. That video started off a little slow in terms of views, but it took a spike today. And thank you, Rami, for helping promote that video. Very, very important to show the public, what's happening, in terms of, the legacy media, the mainstream media. There's a lot of things, they have no credibility. They have no reputation, So as an independent journalist, it felt that it was in my need to report on that story in Sayreville. Very important what's going on. And my channel, as you guys know probably by now, I don't know if it was, I got like 38 new subscribers today, so there might be some new people watching, but the point of the channel is to document my experience with going to municipalities across New Jersey. And essentially, I'm attempting to empower other people to take part in their local meetings, to empower them to have a voice, take the voice that they have and just, put it into full gear, ask the questions that you want to see other people ask that they don't ask, you know, ask the hard questions, take part, in local government, As you guys know by now, there's a lot of different towns across the state that I've been going to. You don't have to go to just the town that you live in, you know? And if you do go to the town that you live in, there's a lot of possibility of, retaliation in terms of, send code enforcement over or, just whatever it could be. But you can't touch me in a town that I don't live in. You can't touch me in a town that I don't live in. So that's why I enjoy going to different towns across the state. But I am going to start attending my local council meetings in North Plainfield, and I'm gonna run for town council. I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to have to do it as an independent. Clearly, neither party, and I don't support either party. There's corruption on the Republican side. There's corruption on the Democratic side. So I'm going to have to run as an independent. So it will be challenging, but I love a good challenge. And Will here in Cranford, he was an independent candidate for town council. You know, and when he went viral for breakdancing at a town hall meeting, that was on September 3rd or September 2nd, I want to say. And the election was November 4th. I think I had those dates right, but they were just a couple days apart. So Will, being an independent candidate, he got a lot of attention for that video that went viral. It's very smart to use the media in that sense. Very intelligent. So I just met Will for the first time. We had spoke on the phone before, and he's very brilliant guy. What does Lemmy Audit say here? Yeah, they have me surrounded with flock cameras where I live and show up wherever I am. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, the political retaliation, man, that is a part of it all. And I do think that what happened in Sayreville with that handwritten hate letter, 100% was political tampering. It was to change the political atmosphere in the arena of Sayreville. And what I like about Cranford here is I just looked at the agenda. Public comments are in the beginning. Public comments are in the beginning. I love that. I hope Lefty gets in here because he's on his way in. I see him. He's getting his wheelchair out. And he's not going to be able to get into the front door because there's no wheelchair access in the front. Should be interesting. So here's the council meeting room. This is a beautiful room. Beautiful room. It gives me church vibes. But the meeting will be starting at 7:30, so it should be starting shortly. But what a beautiful council room. Super beautiful. The flowers and everything like that. It's very nice. They got a Christmas tree up. So I do like that. But we got to make sure that Lefty can get in because he's in his wheelchair and there is steps out front. So we're going to have to find an entrance for him to get in. There's got to be one around back at least. We will find out. Maybe I should ask someone. Isn't it crazy when you have a public building that doesn't have wheelchair access to the front? Go around back. Go around back. It's crazy. You got to wheel all around the building to get in. So we'll have to find out. We will have to find out where the entrance is. I'm sure they have an elevator and a back entrance. Do you guys know if there's wheelchair access to the building?
Oh,
what is in a wheelchair?
I'm sure there is. There's
I'm trying to find out where the. Elevator, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay, nice.
So there's a parking lot around the back, and then there's an entrance
Cool.
side, like you'll see the comments are gonna be going, but it's not. It's the second floor apartment entrance.
So there's an entrance, you can go in there and then use the elevator. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, good. Good. Committee room just shut their door. So let's see. Finding out here what's going on. He's getting ready to come in. Mayor's room. Mayor. Mayor. What's he doing? So yeah, so this meeting's starting at 7:30 and public comments is in the beginning. It's in the beginning. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's super great. And what time is it right now? Let's see. It is 7:18. Okay, 7:18. So this meeting should be starting very shortly. Want to make sure that he knows that there's no access. You know what? He could probably use this. Yeah, there's a way for him to get in. I see what's going on here. All right, no big deal. See, this is where I came up. I came up these steps, but there's a path down there that kind of goes to a. He'll be fine. He'll be fine to get in. Want to make sure because sometimes with the public buildings like in Plainfield and South Amboy and stuff, Brielle, there's no wheelchair access for the building. So we're gonna get started soon, and probably another 10 minutes until we get started. And people are starting to take their seats and everything like that. I'm excited, man. I think Will's great. He's dressed up in a really nice tuxedo. See if you can see him back there in a tuxedo. He's got like the tux thing going on. So he's very creative, very creative. You never know what kind of version of Will you're gonna get. So if you guys haven't watched the video that I did on Will that highlights Will at the council meetings here in Cranford, watch his videos. You never know what version you're gonna get. This guy's great. He's very entertaining, you know. And it's that's why I try to have a little bit of entertainment and a little fun. Use my props, maybe sing a song here and there. I want people to take part in local government. It's normally a dull and boring space, and Will's got a dance party protest set up for tonight. Like that's fun. That makes me want to be a part of it. Who doesn't want to be a part of a dance party protest or in public comments at a meeting? That's great, you know? So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to support Will. And I don't want to give you guys any indication as to what I'm going to do for my public comments. But as you can imagine, it will be a little performative. It will certainly be a little performative for sure. But Will be the highlight. Will be the highlight. You guys got to watch his videos. Very entertaining. So we're going to get started in just a bit. I'm just kind of waiting for Lefty to get in here. I noticed around front he'll be all right getting in here. He's coming up from the parking lot that he can kind of just use that ramp walkway. But it's tough when you're in a wheelchair. A lot of times you got to go, travel extra distances to get to whatever entrance is close. Because the parking around here is not the best in terms of the distance that you got to go to be able to get to the front entrance. Like he parked around back, and it's a pretty good distance to get around the building to the front. And but luckily he's got an electric wheelchair, so he doesn't have to manually roll. He doesn't have to manually roll himself, which is good. So I'm just kind of waiting for him to get in the front door, and then we're going to go in and we'll get started. So everybody who's in the chat right now, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. When will I be in Union City again? I don't know, man. It's a good question. I don't know. Brian Stack is a hell of a politician, man. This guy is the head of the Judiciary Committee. He's the mayor and he's the senator. He holds all three branches of government. You can't even do that anymore in New Jersey, but he's grandfathered in. He learned how to do this from Mayor Musto of Union City, and that was his mentor, I suppose. So I'm getting some texts right now, and we're gonna get started in just a minute. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be back in Union City anytime soon, to be honest with you. And Leroy's got that all handled for the most part. I know he was just recently arrested, total false arrest. You know, you guys have probably seen the video by now. All he was doing was filing an OPA request, and I mean that's it. You know, and the cop pulled him out of his seat. You know, it was really unfortunate what happened to him. So we're gonna get started in just a bit. What time is it? Everybody hit that like button, please. It helps with the algorithm. It helps get the video more reach. And it's 7:24. It should be roughly 6 minutes until we're started here. So everybody hit that like button. Want to see those likes go up. Appreciate each and every one of you for being in the chat, for watching me, you know, for having my back when I go into these council meetings, because normally it's just me and I'm by myself. But today I'm with Will. Will invited me, and I got you guys. You know, I got another camera with me. I got two cameras. Yes, Leroy and the flop cop. That video that Rami just shared is the video of Leroy. Actually, Leroy was the one who was assaulted. I don't know how to describe that any other way. When you watch that video, the police officer is actually the one that assaulted him. So it can't be mistaken, you know. Normally I sit up front, and I'm kind of in the third, fourth row right now, but just want to do my little video intro before it starts. And yeah, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my seat. Yes, Leroy was 100% assaulted. He did not assault a police officer. He was 100% assaulted. 100%. All right, so I'm in the meeting, and this is a beautiful room. It's like church pews. Reminds me a little bit like Summit. Summit's like got that church pew vibe. But I have my second camera here that I'm going to put in the back, because if they do what they did last time and decide to change the camera angles because they didn't like what Will was doing, you know, they were trying to purposely not show him at the podium, you know, which is viewpoint discrimination. You can't do that to one person because you don't like what they're doing, you know. So Will has filed a lawsuit here in Cranford against the township for stifling his First Amendment rights. And I would propose that the best thing they should do is nothing. Nothing. It's amazing when the right response is to do nothing. That's all they have to do, you know? I don't even want to say allow it, because they're not allowing it. You know, when people who are elected officials and police officers, when they swore an oath to the Constitution, It's under the authority of the people. It's not under the authority of the bad actors in government within New Jersey. They're swearing to uphold the oath to the Constitution and the New Jersey State Constitution under the authority of the people. So when the people come to the podium and they want to speak, they speak freely. You're not allowing them. So I don't like using that word when I say just allow it. All they have to do is nothing, but instead they called recess, and that's how they decided to go about it. So let's see, what time is it here? We got 7:28, should be starting any minute now. I want to make sure that Lefty knows that this meeting, that the public comments are in the beginning of the meeting. Because usually they're at the end. Most towns, they have them at the end, but not here in Cranford. So I want to make sure that he gets in here. Yeah, fancy. Let's see what that comment was. Yeah, there's a lot of fancy pictures here. It's a nice building. It's definitely a nice building. A lot of fancy pictures. So we're gonna get started in just a minute. But yeah, this is a beautiful town hall. This is absolutely a beautiful building, and they got a Christmas tree. They got a Christmas tree over here. They got a Christmas tree in the council meeting room. So you gotta love that. Yeah, and it's a fake tree, obviously, but it's a nice one, and it's decorated and it's beautiful, and it gets everybody in the Christmas spirit. So I like that.
Well, she can't approve it. That has to go to the zoning board. She can't approve it. Because it has to go, you have to fill out an application.
It's tight though. These pews are tight. Not a lot of room. So once we get started, I'll change the camera angle and we will show the elected officials. Let's see what's on the agenda. Okay, so as you can see, public comments are right here. It's not like in the very beginning, but it's not at the end. So I think I like that. Bunch of police officers just came in the room. They must be doing some kind of honoring or something. Some kind of appointment or honoring or something. Because they just took up the whole front row. Rob me, you cracked me up. Show the whole room so you guys can see how beautiful this room is, and it's nicely decorated, and they got nice light fixtures and everything like that. And they got a Christmas tree in the back, in the front actually. See the Christmas tree? It's awesome. It's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town hall meeting. I'm excited. This is my first time in Cranford. Let's see here. 7:31. They're late. See some of these comments. Mama Bear Artists, Audit. I'm subscribed to you. Randall, what's up, my man? Randall is my man. Yes. Lefty is here. El Rampador is here. Here he is. See him coming in. See him in the mask. Wrestling mask. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, he's gonna have a problem with that podium trying to get through.
The door to come in here, just no button, and I had a hard time getting in.
I know. I was
The
gonna.
bathroom here, you could get. Yeah.
Oh, his wheels. Okay, cool. Yeah, the one guy was very helpful because I was asking about access because when I came up on the steps and then I realized you were here, I'm like, I wasn't sure if there was that, but that ramp, you came around that way with you just came
I
down
came into the door that didn't have any button.
there's no button.
There's a handicap parking space. You go around to the door. You have to literally open the door and race through the door because it's going to close on you. The door
Right,
with
you
my
got-
wheelchair.
You guys hear that? There was no no handicap button.
Same with the bathroom. The bathroom, I couldn't. There's usually a button. I open the door and I'm racing the door to get into the bathroom. And I think I might have broke the door because I hit it 3 times. It hit my chair. Very bad wheelchair accessibility here. Not happy so far. It's a big fail in Cranford so far. Big fail.
You didn't really assess. You didn't really assess too much of it. You just basically came from the car to the front.
And I saw 2 huge violations already just getting into the council meeting here.
So this is El Rampador, as I guys told you earlier. He's from Sativa Cross. His channel on YouTube is Ignorance is No Excuse, and he fights for medical cannabis patients and disability rights. And there's a lot of disability issues all over New Jersey, everywhere. So this is one of the fights that are very near and dear to his heart.
What other problems are in Cranford that you know of?
I don't know anything about Cranford, to be honest with you. I came here to support Will.
Okay, me too.
You know, so he's doing a dance party protest. This is number 5.
Oh,
You know, so
I can dance in this thing. I just spin around real fast.
Yeah, you could do. Oh, you could do a
Hold on.
360 spin.
Oh, what's 360 times 2? 720?
No.
No.
Oh wait, yeah, 720.
720. What's it times 3? I could probably do a bunch of them, so we'll have to do the math.
It's like simple math, but yet it's hard. I don't know, whatever it is. But so he can dance in the wheelchair. This is great. This is great. You can spin. You can do a spin. A 360 times 2 times 3, and that's that. Will's looking nice tonight. Look at Will.
That's well. There it is. Oh, that's good.
It's a beautiful building, though. The building itself is beautiful. I like that it's all decorated for Christmas. They got a Christmas tree over there. They got a Christmas tree out in the hallway. So
Except
that's
if you're in a
nice.
wheelchair. Then it kind of sucks.
Yeah, except if you're in a wheelchair.
Getting in here is like no good.
So you're going to talk about the fact that there was no button to get in here.
And I went to take a dump and it was no good. They do have 2-ply toilet paper here in Cranford. They use 2-ply, which I appreciate. It's very nice.
Well, what about the bathroom? Was there a handicap-sized bathroom to be able to?
Adequate to fit a wheelchair? Yes. Bars properly.
Where were we when? It was at the Prudential Center, right? Where they had we went to the Prudential Center for bare knuckle boxing, and the wheelchair accessibility bathroom was not accessible. There was no accessibility.
No, I got locked in. I got stuck. The door closed on me, and I was stuck in there. It was bad.
Absolutely horrible. So that this is one of the things that Lefty is always shining light on is the disability issues. El Rampador, that's right. When he's donning his wrestling mask, he is El Rampador.
Put it on for a reason.
Yeah, if he takes it off, he's Lefty. I have a habit of calling him. But yes, this is El Rampador.
I don't think I'm taking it off. I think I'm going to leave it on.
No,
I'm
you
going
should.
for it.
Yeah.
Remember you in Bongholio? He sat in a Bongholio costume for hours. A couple of council meetings. So
I think
to you, I'm going to wear this mask.
I think when we went to Madison in 2023, I want to say I was in that costume for like 2.5, like almost 3 hours. Like I could have played that a little bit better. I didn't have to like go through all that suffering.
You didn't know.
You never know. Oh, so they have public comments somewhat in the beginning. It's not toward the end, which is great. So it's not like beginning, but it's not at the end. It's, roll call, flag salute, blah, 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 blah. Public comments right here.
So we'll see the dance party right away.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
We need a dance party.
Yeah, and this is dance party number 5. Oh, so we go. Starting to get some filling up. What are you gonna do? Go right next to me here?
I'm going to sit right next to you.
Perfect. All right. I don't know if they're doing some kind of a bunch of officers here. I don't know if they're doing like an honor in or some kind of something.
Yeah,
Motions. Something with the police department. So when we go to do public comments, I'm gonna I'm gonna clip the microphone to the microphone up there so you guys can actually hear. It frustrates me when I watch the video back, and I know the audio sometimes is an issue. So I'm gonna make sure that I clip the microphone to that microphone so you guys can actually hear everybody when they speak at the podium. I promise you'll hear.
I'm a fire hazard. Okay. Fail
Fail number three.
Fail number three. I'm a fire hazard.
Yeah,
I'm a
so
fire.
So
Show this.
so if there's a fire, right? He's got to get out of here. What did I do? Here we go. He can't get past that podium.
Fail number three. I can't get out of here.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm not going to get through there. I'm officially a fire hazard here in the council of.
So these are the
Fail
things
number
that
three.
a lot of people, they don't think about. Unless you're in a wheelchair, you don't realize a lot of this stuff.
Unbelievable. This is right here. It's right in front of your face, right here.
You'll have to
Look at this.
literally charge that thing. You'll have to hit that with the.
You show them on camera. It's ridiculous. I'm a freaking fire hazard.
Yeah, he's not getting through there.
I can't get through here. Look. I'll tell you. I'm officially a fire hazard.
You gotta go the long way. Yeah, he's fine. He's just.
That they need to fix the wheelchair access and care about disabled people in this town because they don't.
I'm surprised they don't.
They don't.
know.
This is not a good setup for disabled people to come to the meeting and talk in the First Amendment rights. This is a way to keep disabled people from exercising their First Amendment rights. By keeping them in and keeping them out, making them on fire hazard, making them nervous while they're here. Now I'm stressed out. Now I'm nervous. Why do I have to be stressed out? Nobody else is stressed out because they're able-bodied. They can get out of here. I can't get out of here fast enough now. Look at this.
You gotta go the long. You gotta go the
These
long.
gentlemen here will help me. But while they're servicing me to get me out of here, other people are losing the help that they need because they have to help me instead of helping the other people that have to get out of here. So I'm taking resources away from other people that need it because I can't get out of here. I'm a fire hazard.
So you guys, if you want to subscribe to Lefty's channel, he just got here, so he's just finding out all the fire hazard issues and all the on YouTube. He's ignorance is no excuse. On YouTube, go subscribe to him.
5 minutes I'm here. What's kind of shit I'm saying already? Come on.
Every town,
this is frustrating.
he gets frustrated because every single town, this is the first time you've been to Cranford, right?
It's always.
It's the first time you've been to Cranford,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So every single time you come
nobody
to a
cares
township
about
for the
disabled
first time,
unless it's a photo op. If it's a photo op, then they care about disabled vets and people in wheelchairs.
Oh yeah, of course.
Otherwise, no. Prove it right here. I can prove it right here. I'm proving it. Proving my point.
And I was telling the viewers before last time that Will spoke, they decided that they were going to take the camera angles away and not show him at the podium. Okay, we're getting started here. I'm going to flip the camera around.
This meeting is confined to open public meetings act, but that's the notice of this meeting, the Union County Local Source, Star Ledger, and there's also such annual meetings scheduled on the local board and facility and formal action will be.
Commissioner Adela. Commissioner Andrews. Commissioner McCarthy here. Commissioner Black.
Good evening. Thanks for being discussed again. The adults are upcoming holiday season approaching. Felt that the following words of former First Lady Barbara Bush really well. Never lose sight of the fact that the most important yardstick of your success is how you treat other people. Urge everyone to be mindful of each other and be kind to each other. Let the holiday season not just encourage us to be better during the season, but also serve as a springboard to be better members of our community, better to our families, our friends, our neighbors. Thank you. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
We just have one proclamation this evening. So tonight we're going to celebrate the reopening of the Cranford Theater, which has been on North Avenue for over 100 years. 99. And you know, everybody knows early this year we had some trouble over there. There's a little roof collapse, but nothing killing. Luckily, the important thing, nobody was hurt. And now we have the reopening, which we're really looking forward to. And it's not just about the curtains coming back up, the lights coming back on, but it's really adaptation to the environment. Stage, where we'll be able to do comedy, comedy, you know, some music shows, things like that. So without further ado, I'm going to read a quick proclamation. Whereas the Cranford Theater has long stood as a treasured landmark in the heart of Cranford, welcoming generations of residents and visitors for the film, community, and shared magic of storytelling. And whereas, as the historic gathering place, Cranford Theater has not only served as a venue for entertainment, but also as a vibrant cultural hub that strengthens our downtown, supports local businesses, character, and vitality of our town. Whereas the reopening of Cranford Theater represents a meaningful renewal of the community spirit, restoring a beloved space where neighbors gather, families share memories, and continue to flourish. And whereas this milestone reflects the dedication, vision, and perseverance of all those who work to preserve, revitalize, and restore the theater, ensuring that its lights will shine once again for present audiences and generations to come. Whereas Doreen Saya has been a steadfast advocate for the Cranford Theater and for the cultural life of our community, offering her time, talent, and leadership for its preservation and to help ensure its return to a vibrant home. Whereas the Cranford Theater's continued presence affirms our town's commitment to culture, creativity, and places that bring us together. Now, therefore, I, Terrence Hearn, Cranford Township of Cranford Township, hereby proclaim December 2nd, 2025, as Cranford Theater Celebration Day. Encourage all residents to mark this occasion with pride to support the Cranford Theater in its new chapter and continue fostering the community for the arts and shared experiences made at the heart of our city.
Thank you so much. It's really quite an honor. I certainly did not expect this, but it was a beautiful surprise after such a beautiful. It was definitely a tough 8 months, but it was totally worth it. And the community support and the support of our township and our municipality, and just everyone, our fire department, everyone. I read every message, every email, every call, something to me, and I will take it with me on this journey. I'm so excited that our community and everyone in this room has been and will continue to be a part of the next chapter of this new story. And I'm excited for our centennial next year. Imagine we already are starting to plan for the future. And as we are mentioned, we're not just movies anymore. We're live music, shows, talkbacks, or film festivals. We always want to have something for everyone. Our community is always excited to come to the theater and enjoy and escape from it. Thank you so much.
a quick announcement. We started this year talking about the pools, and we're gonna finish this year talking about. Last night at the Cranford, township workshop, I gave a quick presentation. Right, for everybody in the audience as well as at home. So I will start out by saying that, we feel that we've been very transparent about this process the entire year, by starting in February and really bringing to light the problem that has been going on for several years. We continue to have decreasing revenue year over year. The surplus that we had as a result of the COVID grant that we got in 2020 has now been completed, and next year we'll have $17,000 in surplus. And that surplus normally would go to funding capital grants. However, because of the decreasing membership and the decreasing additional funds that we're getting from daily passes and swim lessons and things like that, we don't predict that we'll have any surplus. I believe that it's again on the PowerPoint, but I don't think we have it. So what I'll say is this: we know that the PowerPoint is on the township website as well as a connected connection. We know that the utility is no longer self-sustaining. Township does contribute approximately $200,000 to $300,000 a year in salaries, health benefits, and Social Security funds to help maintain the budget. And the money that we are losing as a result of the surplus funds going away is going to be another significant. And we have a very difficult decision. I've been very honest about my opinion. Talked with the council committee. I was continuing to have this conversation. I passed out the report last night, again, it's on the website, and I would present it. If we're looking at opening both pools again this year, we're going to have to power once again and look at increasing prices, something that will not really drive membership. So I've been honest about this. I think there'll be further discussions in the next week or so, and then on December 16th next year. Tonight, I'm not going to say too much, but we're happy to have several new police officers as well as promotions, which will be discussed by our public safety commissioner. So excited about that. And seeing growth and strength of the police department, which is that you can see in the number of arrests, not only for firearms that they have throughout the night, as well as drunk driving, which is something that we're going to pass the resolution tonight to discourage drunk driving. I'll not pass it along to our public safety.
So as the mayor said,
I know you guys are probably having a hard time hearing, but don't worry because we're about to get to public comments. They're literally in like 5 minutes.
last several months, there have been retirement and retirement. will, effective December 31st, January 2nd, stationary. They will spend about 10 months, very rigorous and serious program.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Rami.
Work hard. Back here at Cranford, field training, where they actually go out and before one is actually a lateral transfer. So you will not go to the academy, but you will have field training. Once you go down. He's already experienced. 4 young men are very different from Mary and I had an opportunity.
This is going to be a dance party protest, guys. Dance party protest.
Great background. Lends himself well. So, in addition, there's an ordinance later in the agenda. That's it now. Increasing roster up to 57. It doesn't mean we will always have 57, but it gives the chief leeway. So when hiring, about 10 months. Unless we have that ability. So I'm very excited. And I think that's all I have. I urge you, take this serious. Not for yourself, certainly for everyone else on the board. Have a great time this week.
Yes, everybody like and share. Please like and share. Like and share, please.
Look out. Also seeing vendors firm, improvements, budget for 2025. So we're looking forward to using the facility for 2025. Our 11th annual holiday home decorating contest. We'll take submissions until Friday, December 12th. Voting taking place the week of December 15th. The winners will be announced later that week. And for more entry details, recreation at cranfordnj.org. Good luck to all your lastly, our annual children's party at the center will take place this Saturday, December 6th, from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be face painters, snacks, festive music, photo opportunities with Santa at no cost of participants. Thank you to the Cranford JCs who always make this event number one each year.
First Saturday here. Business going on.
Right after finance, we have professional comments. That should be a couple minutes, and then it's public comments.
Otherwise, we do have ordinance tonight. Salaries. Ranges.
Thank you, Rami. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I would also like to join those congratulations. I do appreciate the police department does make my life a little easier down in the week.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to Ben Murata in the court. I know you're not retired for another 2 months. Lieutenant Swanback, you were always.
Hey, Patrick Duff. What's up, brother? Patrick Duff. We're about to get to public comments, brother. And I'm here with Lefty. Public comments is coming in like 2 minutes. Hang around. You gotta watch this. This is a dance party protest.
My favorite kind of public comments. Pursuant to the code of the Township of Cranford, Article 1, Section 32-4, persons addressing the Township Committee shall be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes. Please come forward to the microphone, state your name for the record, and sign in.
Lisa Williams, wife and to all of your families who also support you behind the scenes. I'd just like to comment about. I have not had a chance to. So I apologize.
I know the sound is awful, but Pat, when I get up to the microphone, I'm gonna go next. And I'm gonna clip my microphone on the microphone so we can hear.
And then the other concern being is that I'm not 100% sure why we're closing cap, it leaves your mind to wander. And the one thing that I can't have my brain around is the 375 Centennial rec facility, I know is not making profit, so that was something that. So are we trying to turn Centennial as a pool into more of a rec facility so that we can that property and join it? And now create something.
Yes, they do, Dave. Yes, they do.
That's basically where I'm going, and I don't know if it's wrong, right? And this is something that I just said, transparent, I don't really feel that way, and I think that, so respectfully, I just would like to answer why it really is hard to maintain and just keeping in mind, really doing a lot of construction. We need a full replace right now. That's how I answer. I think we should really pursue.
So, I will address your comments. The reason is I've stated multiple times that we're moving Centennial over Orange is due to the size of the property. And so we can be able to increase offerings or right on again. As far as what's going to happen as Centennial revenue, you're right, that we don't have a plan right now. The plan would be when residents actually come up with an idea. Propose different ideas. So maybe we can use the apartment for 75 facility, and have to impact you on whether or not comparable or not. Presentation from last night.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I signed in. On the anonymous. I heard there was I'm anonymous. We have freedom of speech, so you can't attempt to force my speech. And we have a Fourth Amendment right to remain secure. So I choose to remain anonymous. But I did sign in. So I heard there's a dance party. So I want to sing a song. What up, Cranford? I don't give my name. I don't give my address because I think that is lame. We don't ask for yours, so why you asking for mine? And at the end of the night, I got 5 minutes of time. You can mark me down however you please. I will stay anonymous, you better believe. And speaking of Will, that's my boy in the back. He's got the best dance moves, so I'm singing a rap. I love great dance parties like I ate ecstasy that were labeled the Smarties, got the best of me. So I came here tonight, even in the rain, because when you shut down free speech, it makes me insane. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. Mic check, 1, 2, why don't you get up and dance, every one of you, while you still got a chance. Instead of censoring speech, you could have just enjoyed a spinning ball from the beach while you sit there employed, instead of making a plan and simply walking away and deciding to ban while you're making that pay. You don't get to decide to stop what you don't like. Maybe it's hurting inside, but it's Will Philly's right. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. So I urge all of you, if you don't know what to do, just sit there and stare. You're not expected to care. It's the public's time to do whatever they like. So do nothing at all instead of making a fight. And when you go home tonight, I want you all to think hardy why you didn't enjoy the best council dance party. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. And you do it like this, you gotta shake your shoulders and you shake your hips. Do it like it's never been done before, like the First Amendment depends on it. Thank you, Cranford. It's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town hall meeting. And appreciate all of you. And remember, freedom of speech is the First Amendment, and it's the most important one. Thank you, Mayor.
Michael Clark, 2 Heinrich Street. I was going to leave after the last meeting, so I'm going to take another few minutes. First, let me congratulate the promotions and retirements for the police officers to my right. Appreciate the work that you all do. It's not easy to go out in the public and deal with, be on the front line to say, and run towards the fire and the bullets and protect the rest of us. So thank you. Just a continuation of the issues that I brought up in the meeting prior to this related to the parking. I did learn
when I was about to leave that the Cranford Strength and Fitness, the turf element, recently expanded. I did mention in that meeting that there's been a parking issue now along the building in the grass area. It's not a permitted parking area, and that explains it started about a month ago, which is when the turf field probably completed their expansion. Now people are parking all along there. So again, there's been an ongoing issue with the parking with primarily the medical company or the All Med transportation company created. But now with the further expansion, there's going to be a need even for more parking. I don't think a variance was obtained. There was nothing that went before the zoning board to obtain any sort of parking variance for that. This was approved. Again, it's hearsay. I haven't confirmed it yet because I just learned of it this evening, and I'll check with the zoning department probably tomorrow to find out what approval process happened. But if there's an expansion and there's, additional parking required and there is none, was a variance really required, and was that supposed to go before the zoning board? And this is kind of continuing with what's going on there, that the property owners, the landlords, there's 3 of them, are just kind of acting at will at this point. It's almost like they've gotten away with something and now they just are continually doing it. It's the parking issue now with the expansion of the turf field. They recently signed that lease where this company was coming in. They created a loading zone in an area that's not approved to be a loading zone. I think zoning has addressed that because it stopped, when I reported it. We haven't seen them there for the last 2 weeks. This is now going on the 3rd week. I didn't see any deliveries, but trucks are backing down Heinrich Street. 18-wheelers are backing down to unload cargo and freight. They're stacking it up in parking spaces. I have pictures where there's maybe 12 pallets of freight. These are 1,000-pound full pallets you'd see in like a BJ's or Costco warehouse sitting in the parking lot. They're hoisting them 20 feet in the air above an active business entrance. There's also the turf field entrance there. It's an active parking lot, and you've got this, this forklift operating and loading these pallets 20 feet in the air. I mean, cars are coming in, cars are coming out. It's a tight area. There's not much area for circulation there. I reported it to OSHA. OSHA said it's really a town matter. Bring it up with zoning or whomever at the town to address the issue. Again, I think it's been addressed, but I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like this thing that things are happening there and they're happening quickly and they keep happening. So I wanted to mention that because again, it's something I learned about. It's a continuance of the conversation that I had in there. And I know that before the board or the council tonight, you're going to be adopting a resolution that will grant the police department Title 39 enforcement rights. So hopefully there's fire zone parking. There's cars that are stacking up in unregulated spaces. Essentially, they're filling up the spaces and then they're just backing cars into the alcoves and they're just blocking other cars in because they're all ambulance employees. So they're not blocking, they're blocking their own people in essentially because they're there all day. And now you have the parking along the fence line. And then we've also asked for the parking regulations. Last night there was over 10 vehicles. The street was filled on both sides. And it's like, I know the police department did a study, but you can't show up at 3 a.m, 6 o'clock in the morning, or just a few days in the end of October or early November and say it's, we recommend it's not, I'm there 24 hours a day. The other residents are there 24 hours a day all year. And it's a fluid situation. You have different clinics that start and end, and there's weeks where the street is filled from 6 p.m. to about 7:30 p.m. There's 10, 12, 14 cars stacking in the street. And I don't think a tax-paying resident should come home from work and not have a parking space because the owner of that facility has decided to bring tenants in and overflow his parking lot and then use the public roadways as a parking lot. That's just not right. Taxpayers shouldn't be forced to do that when you have people visiting our town. Maybe they're town residents, I don't know, but they don't live on that street. And I'm sure if they did, they would have a problem with it too. So I disagree with the recommendation that there shouldn't be permit parking only on Heinrich Street. The police can make a recommendation, but again, it's not a professional study. It was done it was almost put together as a last minute thing because I know that there was an ordinance before the board to put the regulation in place, and then there was kind of a pause button where you wanted to see what was going on and you engaged the police department to do that. So that's my 5 minutes. Thank you for your time. Mike, I know that you bonus.
Thank you. I am El Rampador, sativacross.org. We're a 501c3 fighting for the rights of the disabled and cannabis patients' rights. I'm here a few minutes and already there's a huge fail. Take my wheelchair to the door here and there's no button for the door. So I have to hold the door while I'm pushing myself with my right hand through the wheelchair, through the doorway. And the door is hitting me as I'm going in because, you know, you have to, it's closing. And I'm trying to get in. I'm hitting the door as I'm getting in. That's a big fail. Then I go to use the bathroom and the same problem in the bathroom, except that it's a faster door and you got to race the door after you swing it open as hard as you can. Now, luckily I have two decent arms, but you got somebody with muscular dystrophy, cancer, MS, they're not going to be able to open that door and swing it open and rush through it like I had to rush through it and hit my wheelchair 3 times with it. The door might be broken. I don't even know because it hit me 3 times and I heard a crunch. I don't know if it was my chair, it was my back, or if it was the door. It was one of those things crunched. Thank you for having 2-ply paper in there. I appreciate that, though, at least. So then the third fail is right now I'm standing here as a fire hazard, sitting here as a fire hazard. There's no way to get through here. I'm trapped. This nice gentleman here had to move the podium so I can get through here. So there's no F's given about the disabled in this town. As far as the podium, you can't even speak at the podium without being a fire hazard. I have to have stress and anxiety speaking at a podium as exercising my First Amendment right as a stressed out fire hazard right now. Disabled people deserve better. Disabled vets deserve better. You wouldn't even have this council if it wasn't for disabled vets fighting for your right to be ableist and ignorant. For 19 months, you gave us disability access on Zoom. Then you took it away. Why'd you take away Zoom access? Because you don't care about the disabled. For 19 months during COVID, the disabled were swept up in the COVID, and they were like, okay, we got all these rights now. We got online school. We've been asking for that for years. Online work, online church, online everything. We got all the things we need now. And then all of a sudden, you took it away after 19 months. Why'd you take it away? Because you don't care about the disabled. See it all over New Jersey. There's police stations without wheelchair access, post offices without wheelchair access, dispensaries, cannabis dispensaries that were built on the backs of sick, dying, and disabled people have no wheelchair access. The Cannabis Regulatory Commission does not care about the disabled as well. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of being here. I'm mad because I didn't expect to see this when I got here, but I'm a fire hazard and I'm pissed off. Why should I be a fire hazard exercising my rights? Now, sure, these nice gentlemen will help me get out, I'm sure, yes. But now, if there's a fire, you got 3 people here trying to help me to get out, and those resources can be used for something else. It's ridiculous. Put the last first. Put the last first. Put the last first. We are last, and we're sick of being last. We're just sick of it. And this is just another proof of it. Look at this. Just I'm going to show YouTube this. This is just proof of it. I'm a fire hazard. It's bullshit. Do better, Cranford. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
Brian Honestchuk, 623 Lincoln Park East. Ms. Donahue had already signed in prior. Friendship and progress. Those are the principles on the township seal. I want to discuss the 4 points I brought to the township committee's attention on September 16th and discuss the progress on those points, a principle on the township seal. Point 1, receipt of notice about my garbage cans from the health department. Currently resolved. Thank you to those township employees for assisting me with this resolution. They have exhibited friendship and progress, the principles on the township seal. Point 2, a privately owned and operated camera on town property, operated by my neighbor that has taken images of my wife's private area. Still awaiting further discussion. Point 3, this same neighbor's electric service utility cutting across my private property. Currently resolved at this point. Thank you again to those township employees for assisting with me with this current resolution. They have exhibited friendship and progress, the principles on the township seal. Number 4, a misplaced non-native township tree that was misplaced by that same neighbor in front of my property, still awaiting clearer communication from the township attorney Slattery to resolve this point. In regards to what was said about me during the township committee meeting on November 10th, I want to comment on the professionalism displayed by the township committee. Although certain members of this committee, our points of view do not align, I do want to recognize that in that incidence of indecent, inappropriate, incendiary, inflammatory smearings, confabulations, and fabrications made by my neighbor, you all exhibited friendship and progress, and I thank you for that. I wholeheartedly deny all of the past, present, and future accusations made by that neighbor, and I look forward to receiving resolution to the 2 remaining issues brought to your attention on September 16th. Finally, the township pools. Based on the Cranford Pool Utility Review posted on Facebook, as a member of the community pool for many years, dating back to 1986, I see quite a few missing facts and deem this summary skewed in favor of one pool over another. For example, point 1, nothing mentioned about the volleyball court at Centennial, which is currently being occupied by the Shade Tree Commission. Point 2, there was a waterside pleasant last year and not this year, and my daughter and I saw it in pieces on the side. Point 3, finally, only one general weakness at Orange. Nothing mentioned about closing this entire pool when there's human excrement sited in the main pool, closing the intermediate, large Olympic-style pool as well as the diving wells simultaneously. Plus a small pool deck in which dirt constantly gets tracked into the Orange Avenue pool. In addition, no covers in the pool filtration channels that run alongside the main pool. I want the Township Committee to be mindful of the principles of friendship and progress surrounding the decision and check with the founding charter that established this pool community. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. Tia Nicole of 625 Lincoln Park East. I'm here tonight to defend myself against this person who was just speaking. Once again, my next door resident who weekly preaches his friendship and progress ad nauseum. He certainly does not practice what he so tirelessly preaches. Instead, he spends countless hours pouring through ordinances, fabricating complaints, and picking fights with many neighbors, including those on Connecticut Street where he originally came from. After 60 years of a peaceful existence here, my husband and I have been harassed by this neighbor, who I shall call Mr. O, through the relentless abuse of township employees for 5 long years. He is an unyielding man who is obsessed with us and prides himself on being arrogant, bully, and harasser. He abuses township employees and wastes our taxpayer dollars for his own gain via baseless complaints. He has filed over 20 complaints. Let me repeat that, 20 complaints. I am sure more will be discovered after I receive my Oprah request. Every single complaint has been investigated by the township, and every single one has been dismissed by the department. The detectives, the 2 separate attorneys, 2 separate property managers, the chief of police, the DPW, I could go on and on, Shade Tree Commission, and the zoning officers. These complaints are never legitimate concerns. They're weaponized complaints designed to disrupt our lives while simultaneously wasting Cranford taxpayer dollars, forcing a myriad of township employees to investigate and constantly respond on taxpayer time for his unfounded complaints. Let me just give you a quick example of some of his complaints. Running a business out of our home, we're both retired. He complained our fence is in disrepair. He submitted 5-year-old photos which have been long since repaired. Fence exceeding height, it was a landscape trellis, not a fence. Pool equipment, all grandfathered in. He's had 12 complaints about a hydrangea tree, 12. The tree was planted in memory of my mother and father. He is aware of this. The township attorney closed this matter in 2021, yet he has not deterred him in the least. He has no respect for the ruling. He continues to file complaints to this day, attempting to have it destroyed. He repeatedly and just now said it is a native tree, non-native tree, yet he planted a Coosa dogwood 6 feet from our tree that is not only non-native, but invasive, meaning it can spread disease. Then he loves to say things are dangerous. This is a common tactic he uses, threatening liability. He often places everyone in his letters on notice in a failed attempt to intimidate them through bogus, fabricated threats of personal injury and liability, exaggerated threats of danger, all of which have been dismissed. My tree was endangering pedestrians. My tree had slate rocks that he called weapons. Dangerous bees. Our Christmas lights were dangerous. This all caused employees to have to come out and follow up on his bogus complaints. He repeatedly, and still now tonight, complained about our underground electrical wires. These were put underground 3 feet in 1956. 1956. He and his wife sent a certified letter to us, obviously ChatGPT generated, with fake claims about a PSE&G engineer. I have a letter right here from the PSE&G engineer stating that he refuted all of what he said in the letter and that it was all fabricated. I'd be happy to submit it. And the Cranford electrical inspector inspected the work. And the best part is that PSE&G engineer actually said that he likely damaged our underground wire by carelessly driving in a fence post. He complained about a bungee cord. He said that put him in danger, and he put the police chief on notice. He just again stood here for the third time, accusing me of sexual harassment, claiming I took photos of his wife's private area. With our stationary Ring camera, in reality, his wife repeatedly bent over in front of our camera in order to harass us over and over and over. And I'm sorry I didn't bring those photos to show. He then twists this and manipulates this with a slanderous story to publicly damage our reputation. He secretly films us with his glasses, which has a hidden spy camera regularly. They have been captured on camera repeatedly striking our trees while walking past with their children to set an example for them, which is not good. In conclusion, instead of enjoying our home in retirement, we are forced to constantly respond to his vindictive, baseless complaints. He seems more focused on bullying neighbors and wasting township resources than caring for his own family or practicing the friendship and progress that he so preaches. This is pure harassment, a personal vendetta meant to disrupt our lives and burden the township staff. We are simply asking for what every Cranford resident deserves: to live in our home with peace, safety, and dignity. Thank you for your time.
Loretta Smith, 21 Oneida Place, Cranford. No, I'm not going to sing and I'm not going to dance. 5 years of tap dancing right over here in Cranford. I can't do it anymore. Anyway, my concern is, and I don't know how this passed by me, but resolution number 2025-395 is all the change orders 1 through 7 at our, I guess it's the library area, but I don't see anything as to what all those change orders represent. We're up to 86,361.87. To me, it doesn't look like there's much finished there. So if we're up to change orders of over 86,000, by the time they finish, are we going to hit over 100,000? So, I mean, I'd like to just know when the time comes and you can answer this, what exactly are these change orders for? Okay, thank you.
Mayor, good evening. First of all, there's a second microphone here, and I'm wondering if the gentleman who put it there has permission from the attorney and or the board for having it here being recorded by someone who's identified themselves as anonymous. I would prefer not to talk in the second microphone. Would you please remove it? All right, I will. I'm sorry? What? I'll leave it at the dais. On here? All right, there you go. 21, Don Smith, 21 Oneida Place. Mayor, last night I noted, and thank for the work done under the railroad bridge for the pavement. But the question is on the second 40 to 50 yards from the hotel down to South Avenue. During the time we had the problems under the railroad bridge, patches were put on that roadway, which actually complicated over time because there were patches on top of patches. As I mentioned last night, the roadway is already coming apart in that 40-yard section. So I might suggest that, and I don't know who put the patches there. Maybe it was our DPW, maybe it was the county. But whoever did under the bridge, maybe if it's our people, to look at patching what we have down there now, it might get us through the winter without generating large potholes, which could be a safety concern. And then when it's scheduled to be redone, that might be springtime or later, but at least it wouldn't be causing a problem for now. Second item regarding the pool issue. At last night's workshop meeting, I asked about how the original 2 pools were authorized back in the day. Namely, were they done with a referendum, an ordinance, or a resolution? I then stated that if it was done under a resolution to construct each pool, then in my view, a referendum should be the vehicle to close one or the other pools if that becomes the final decision by the public, because of the referendum and not a 5-member township council alone. It was noted by Administrator Patterson that the 2 pools started out as municipal pools. That said, in my view, those 2 pools at origin had to have come through the virtue of the referendum and were made part of the tax base back then and paid the real estate taxes to construct and operate like other more recent recreational facilities at 375 Centennial, or the funding for the library addition, or the new full-day kindergarten construction set up by the Board of Education, all of which are part of the tax base now and being paid for through real estate taxes today. So a question, why or for what reason was it changed to a utility? And maybe the fix should now be to go back to a municipal pool structure with real estate taxes as a source of funding, and must have been done when those 2 pools first were constructed. However, in any case, going forward on a closure, the public must be given full details, including every cost involved. That should include the current profit and loss for both Orange Avenue and Centennial. And by the way, Centennial, as noted in the recent public survey, came out ahead of Orange Avenue as a better choice to attend. The operating costs, as noted in the presentation last night, showed Centennial in better standing than Orange, but Centennial did have fewer operating hours. Also, as far as the state's $750,000 grant goes, the upgrade improvements needed at Centennial looks to be far less than at Orange Avenue. The chart shown last night had a dollar comparison of Orange Avenue versus Centennial that showed, on a quick look, that the Centennial Avenue pool was better by some $100,000, but it was a quick view on my part because that chart did not appear in the package that was handed out. But getting back to the public information that should be produced, current operating costs versus revenue for sure. But beyond that, as was requested by one of the attendees last night, what is the plan for either pool once it has been demolished? What will take its place? That should be a must have. Then what will be the best cost estimate for demolition? A figure of $300,000 was mentioned, but from my experience and considering the need for an environmental assessment for each property, $300,000 is nowhere close to any reasonable estimate for demolition. I would suggest the township look to hire an expert consultant to determine what all the needs to be considered for a pool demolition, including the environmental assessment on each pool before any closure decision is made. Also, I found it very interesting that last night's workshop, which had 25 to 30 members of the public present, there was only one voice supporting keeping Orange Avenue open versus Centennial. And in every prior meeting regarding the pools, we have not heard, to my knowledge, any firm support for not closing Orange Avenue Pool. Interesting. So, I'm sorry? I'm sorry? Oh, it is, okay. Just one final statement. I want you to remember the Pepper Tree debacle, when a former township committee made a really bad decision in hindsight to cut down the historical tree. After it fell, it was found to be healthy and should never have been taken down. Let's not have that happen with our pools. Thank you.
I did look today to see how the pools were created. I haven't gotten all the way back to the initial creation. The pool utility was created in, I believe it was 6, I could be wrong on that though. Through ordinance, so that was just through the local township ordinance, changing from a township pool to a swimming pool utility. And the reason for that is that I can understand the finances. So if we were to go back to the municipal pool model, that would result in a township having to make the pools, which would be about $1.2 million a year. That doesn't include capital costs that we would have to add on to the tax flow. I did hand out all the township revenue detailed revenue account history from last night. The budget for this year was $1.41 million. As of right now, we have $28,000 left, and we still have several pay periods to go. So by the end of the year, we expect to be at, which will affect future operations. So that's, I'll give you another handout of the slide presentation. I will just remind the audience, everybody is welcome to come up and speak at the podium, but there can be no articles thrown into the audience, nothing fine.
Hi, good evening.
Don't throw anything into the audience.
As a member of the Cranford Shade Tree Commission, I'd like to share with you what we've accomplished this year. This fall, the Shade Tree Commission planted 85 trees of 11 different varieties throughout Cranford. And with the 40 planted this past spring, that makes 125 trees total for the year. So I think that's pretty cool. And people have had, as I've been going around Cranford and talking to people have had questions about, how do we choose trees to plant? And what I can tell you is that we focus on planting native species because they're well adapted and will not damage our local environment. If you've heard of the Bradford pear, it's a textbook example of a non-native that has caused havoc. And secondly, we prioritize diversity. The Shade Tree Commission actually has a tally of how many trees are planted throughout the town, so we know if something is overrepresented. And it's maples. We have a lot of maples, and maples actually have had some disease problems. So having too many of one kind of tree makes the canopy vulnerable to a pest or disease that wipes out a particular species. So to guard against that, we tried to diversify the kinds of trees we're planting. So the trees we planted this fall, oaks are a great tree, and there are a lot of different kinds. It's an important keystone species that supports local wildlife. We also planted, and you may know this tree, some pepperidge trees, also called the black gum, as kind of a remembrance for Old Peppy. And we've also, I didn't realize Old Peppy was that popular. We also chose some lesser known but useful natives with kind of funny names, so people don't know them as well, but things like ironwood, which has a very rough, tough wood, and a hackberry, which has beautiful fall color. So these trees that are lesser known have good features, and we hope everybody gets to know them. And the reason you will get to know them is because as you travel around town, you'll see that many of the recently planted trees have tags that identify what kind of tree it is. And at this time, I'd like to give a shout out to our youth volunteers. They're not here tonight because they didn't know I was calling them out. Christian Summers and Brad Inglesby, who have worked tirelessly over the past couple years to put these labels on the tree. So if you see this neon colored tag on the tree, you can go up and see what it is. We do try and plant trees that grow large to create a shady canopy, but not every spot can accommodate a big tree. So we always select some smaller trees. We have to plant under the overhead wires, and to avoid in years to have PSC&G trim them, we plant smaller trees. So we plant the smaller trees, and as a bonus, many of them are beautiful spring bloomers. So hopefully you'll see that next spring. And I did want to, why are trees planted where they are? So the new trees are pretty much scattered all over town. And we paid close attention to allocating trees equitably between the north side and the south side. But in one, we did create what I call an impact planting that I think is pretty cool. If you head down Centennial Avenue, past the Rat, there's a little bit of township property right next to Hayes Street there, where the exit ramp from the parkway comes out. So on this strip, we planted 4 oak trees and 3 fringe trees, and it's going to be quite spectacular. And as they grow and mature, and it's an entryway to our town, and I thought it's a really nice spot to put those. So you might be wondering who got trees this fall. So right now, the Shade Tree Commission has a large backlog of tree requests from residents. So we started with locations where people have actually asked for trees and want trees. And unfortunately, we couldn't fulfill all the requests this season, but we will be working through the backlog as resources permit. And maybe even more sadly, everyone who wanted a tree could not get one. Sometimes the tree lane was too narrow to support healthy tree growth. Sometimes the gas and water utilities are in the way. I was shocked when I went around, and there are gas utilities that run like right along the tree lane, so we can't dig and plant there. But in some cases, we were able to plant a tree on, oops, did I run out of? Do I have to say it into his microphone? I wrote it down. I'm sorry. I'd rather not. Sorry. Anyone who wants a tree can get one. Go on the Shade Tree Commission website, fill out the form. And if you have neighbors who want trees, we're happy to do whole blocks, but we need to have a request. So thanks for your support. I appreciate it. And I'll be back.
So, Mr. Mayor, this pool process to me is a complete mess. And frankly, I'm frustrated, disappointed, and embarrassed by how it's been handled by yourself and this committee. After 10 months of meetings, workshops, and debates, you would think we would have a clear, logical plan. Instead, we are on the verge of making another rushed, short-sighted decision that is going to hurt Cranford. Let's call it what it is. The Y agreement was a disaster. We are paying $450,000 a year for an indoor pool facility we don't even run, and we'll get minimal back from it for at least the next decade. And now we are supposed to accept losing an outdoor pool just to cover up the mistake. That is really unacceptable. Worse yet, the decision on which pool to close isn't even based on financials like you said it would be. Your own numbers show Centennial is cheaper to operate than Orange, but you want to keep Orange open because it has more grass. Seriously, more grass. After nearly a year of debate, more grass is the deciding factor. To me, that raises real questions about how these choices are being evaluated by the committee. Compounding the problem even more, the financial projections you presented last night are simply not reliable. You are assuming that closing one pool will have no effect on membership revenue, and you are using this year's full revenue as a base for 2026. This is not logical. The loss of a pool will certainly mean a loss of membership and revenue, which means any surplus for Orange is highly unlikely. Further, your response last night when we asked about next steps and the future plan if you close Centennial was basically, we don't have a plan. You said we'll think about that later. We need to close the pool first, then hire a consultant to come up with a 5-year plan for Orange, and then form a subcommittee to figure out what to do with Centennial property after it's closed. That is completely irresponsible and backwards thinking by you. And finally, we've been discussing improvement costs for each pool for 10 months. Yet last night, no actual estimated costs were presented like discussed in the swim pool utility meeting in October. You decided to remove the much-needed upgrades to the bathroom and office at Orange Avenue Pool, improvements that have been to be determined from the start. When asked about the cost, you said it's not in the town's best interest to ask for bids unless we are ready to accept them, because it won't look good for us. That is not how responsible decision-making works. Everyone gets estimates from contractors. If we're making improvements, it's basic due diligence. Contractors understand they may not get the job, but they still provide competitive bids. To ignore this standard practice is troubling, and in my opinion, reflects a serious lapse in judgment. The cost of these improvements should be a significant factor in the decisions to close a pool. But all of this isn't just about the pools. It's about a pattern of bad deals, wasted dollars, lost assets, and no clear vision for our town. I'm tired of the excuses, tired of the deflections, and tired of watching Cranford get dragged down by poor decision-making and leadership. Don't close anything until you have a real long-term plan that residents can see and trust. We deserve so much better than what we're getting right now. Thank you.
Mr. Meyer, will address some of your statements. The YMCA indoor pool. So prior to that, which was done in 2023, year over year since 2011, revenue has been decreasing at the pool. So the YMCA, although you want to blame indoor pool, the YMCA contract that wasn't in effect in 2010, 11, 12, all the way through. Actually, they came in and provided a $1.5 million loan, which we are paying back. The YMCA membership continues to increase. Today they had 3 new members. They're well ahead of projections for the year, and we'll see that and be able to pay back the loan. The indoor pool revenue since the Y has taken over, since we made changes there with the swim team and how we charge for use of the pool has increased. Prior to me coming onto the township committee, about $20,000 a year to run an indoor pool. So most of that money was going back to was being drawn in from the outdoor pools. The bidding process, I don't know if business administrator wants to address that. I mean, how the bidding process works.
Bidding process is, if you know the 2 bids, that's going to go around to can't go out bids for not knowing what we're doing. But you can get quotes on individual projects that bigger projects.
So we are trying to come to an agreement on how to move forward on the township committee. As I said, the process
have somebody come out and explain what we can do with the property, come up with a 5-year plan, and then move forward with that. As far as the separate project with closing one of the pools, that would be up to the township. Maybe that we appoint a resident committee who would be able to come up with some plans and we'd be able to plan for that. We don't have tons of cash just sitting around to just throw projects together, so this would take long-term planning. And we've sat and we've given you all the information, all the financials. We know that you're a financial professional, so I know that you understand the finances and that we're coming down to a point where we have zero revenue. No business would operate and continue to operate where you are running zero revenue year over year.
Okay. Hi, Joe Hannon, 111 Elm Street. Last night at the meeting, I had mentioned Section 8 housing, and you emphatically told me there was no Section 8 housing in Cranford. Well, according to the Cranford Housing Authority site, there are 131 units of Section 8 housing at the Gill units and 4 other locations where there is Section 8 housing. So for anybody in the panel who is unsure of Section housing, Cranford, we have Section housing. Thank you.
So that's senior housing, so that is financed through government, Section 8, you were correct. I don't believe that's what we were referring to last night when we were mentioning the false, very wrong idea that we're going to put housing as any revenue or whatever other kind of. So I know that's been something that's been out there. It's not true. That it's not true. A lot of lies and misinformation have been spread by people, and fires going around, knocking on doors, and putting out. I'm addressing things that are on social media, sir.
Circus Act. This evening, I stand before this committee not only at a suggestion of a council member, but to defend my family against what has become a pattern of civil harassment that we have been enduring for 5 years by the resident who lives next door. 20 or more complaints initiated by this resident with the intent to harass have deliberately triggered a township process requiring municipal employees to investigate, act upon, spend time and energy responding to each complaint. His filings, also weaponized to harass, have consistently been investigated, found baseless, and dismissed. This misuse of the complaint system constitutes an abuse of process. Over time, we experience visits by police investigators asking questions or actions implemented for the DPW reported by him to cut down dangerous tree located at my address. They arrived in front of my house with 3 large landscaping vehicles knocking at my door, looking to find the tree, but couldn't find anything wrong. I talked to the occasional inspectors responding to their complaints. I've observed multiple municipal employees following up on his complaints with drive-bys and others stopping to take notes, all dismissed with no further action. This resident persistently invents new avenues of complaint, scouring current zoning ordinances in search of anything that might be twisted into yet another tool of harassment. He has filed complaints to nearly every department, repeatedly and relentlessly, recycling dismissed allegations under New Genesis, simply because he can act without consequence. His conduct is not pursuant to legitimate grievance, but a calculated campaign of harassment designed with exhaustive persistence. Most recently received notice by the zoning officer requesting a property inspection due to yet another 5 complaints. This time prompted by photographs taken of our fence that were approximately 5 years old and bear no resemblance to current conditions. The inspection ultimately confirmed once again his claims were false and without merit. I am describing someone who devalues property with them regularly posting cryptic, degrading, and demeaning lawn signs, utility flags, and other trespassing signs on their front lawn, and a sign mounted on their fence facing my front yard driveway saying no trespassing, no dumping, and keep off the fence. This individual also wears spyglasses, a concealed audio and visual device that records everything he looks at. He uses this device without disclosing his use of it and records the actions and conversations of others, perhaps to use as a disputable weapon. A resident who stands before this council demanding friendship at this podium threatened a council member with his recording. He somehow manages to behave the exact opposite of friendship. Over the past 6 months, his persistent complaints have escalated in both frequency and intensity, clearly intended to heighten his harassment. At the same time, they appear calculated to pressure and punish the township by repeatedly consuming and wasting valuable municipal resources. His actions reflect an effort to exert control through an abusive manipulation of the township's complaint process without consequence. This matter goes beyond ordinary neighborhood disputes. The actions taken by this resident is not a harmless irregularity. This represents a calculated and brazen abuse of process that threatens the integrity of our community. By deliberately manipulating established procedures for personal advantage, who continues to violate the rights given Cranford residents, this individual has crossed the line from civic participation to conduct that goes beyond mere mischief and instead mirrors criminal behavior. The question before us is clear. Should willful abuse of process be treated as a criminal offense, with measures taken to safeguard the public such abusive and unlawful behavior for the future? Our township must hold residents accountable when they deliberately abuse a process that sustains our community. Accountability must be pursued, not only to protect the rights of our neighbors today, but to safeguard the integrity of our civic life for the future. Thank you for my 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
We'll come down to the bar after the fight. I'm gonna be for a little bit more while before this meeting, right? It's like going on a little more while, right? I might do this more. I do want to come out and have a drink. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, oh, I know. I'm gonna. Thanks for thinking about it. Just for using it.
Well, I'm really here tonight is to urge property owners, taxpayers, families to attend next meeting in person on December 16th at 8 p.m. There was a referendum in January.
I got a question. Sure, absolutely.
So I like what you do, but I got a question. My son has the podcast, The Garden State.
Son?
My son.
I watch him. He had Daniel Francesco.
Yeah, I know that.
I know Daniel.
I think I would love for him to hook up with you somehow. Do you have a card?
No, I don't. But if you take a, this is
Yeah,
like
let me
my,
take
yeah,
this.
take a picture of that. That's my press credentials.
He was just texting me.
I would be
And he just said to me, I think I might come here. When my kids give a shit about these politicians.
I watch him. I watch
My son.
I can't believe it. Oh my God, I would look. I would, dude. I would be honest.
Yeah, I know. That's why I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, please, share my information with them.
I know. With your permission, I'm doing that.
Absolutely, please do. Please do. Thank you very much. Wow, very cool. All right, so that guy, I just met the father of the guy. My shit's not turning around. The father of the guy who does Garden State. I got to get my equipment and just put it in the car, and then I'm gonna go smoke a joint with Lefty. So I'm walking out right now, but yeah, I don't know if you guys know the podcast, The Garden State. I watch it all the time. And he had Mayor Daniel Francesco on there from Englishtown, and me and Lefty were in Englishtown not too long ago when the council appointed John Alight, the ex-mobster who had murdered 6 or 7 people, something like that, countless beatdowns, everything like that. I'm doing it live. Would you like to be interviewed?
No, I just don't know what the whole point of it is. I don't understand it.
What do you mean?
Like the whole act and the whole nonsense.
Well, maybe sometimes it's not like for everybody to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously.
It's all about, like, me personally. I think it's about bringing enjoyment into a space that's normally dull and boring, so people pay attention to what's happening in their local council meetings. Because a lot of towns all across New Jersey, they get away with whatever they want. They do it's corruption. They run rampant, and most people don't pay attention. So it's kind of like whatever it takes to get people to pay attention, it's worth it.
Every 500 municipalities. That is.
I do it though. That's the whole point. That's why I do what I do. Yes, I mean I have a full-time job, but this is like what I do. Off work as a hobby. Yeah. I'm always in like 5 or 6 towns at once, and it's always
So you
about.
just don't do Cranford?
This is the first time I've been to Cranford.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
what Will was doing and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and I kind of like I spoke to him on the phone, and I'm like, he's kind of doing similar stuff. He's
Yeah.
making eyes on the town meetings and everything like that, and we're kind of similar in that way. But the whole purpose of at least what I do is for exactly what I just explained. People need to pay attention because they'll do whatever they want to get away with almost everything short of murder.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
I got you.
Have a good night, guys. Okay, that was a nice little conversation. But yeah, that's the whole point. That's why I do it. It's to put eyes on meetings that normally are dull and boring. People don't pay attention to what's happening. And if people thought, hey, this meeting's going to be fun, there's going to be a dance party, well, then maybe they'd actually show up or watch. But that's the whole point. So I'm going to end this because I got to go smoke with Lefty. I'm dying. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me at this council meeting. And I'm going to end the live stream and stay tuned for the video in the next like 2 days. It's going to be great. All right. Thanks, guys. I love you all. Thanks, Vinny. It was awesome. It was so much fun. I know I didn't follow Will the whole time with my camera because I had another camera I was rolling. I was thinking about all the shots. Plus, there's the public access shot. You guys can go back and watch it on Cranford YouTube channel. A lot of footage, man. Will's my favorite person in this space. He really is. Will is definitely my favorite person in this space. That was the most amazing thing ever. Why is it not letting me X out?